Good morning. I'm hoping that the signal here is good enough. I'm having serious problems with my internet, but good morning and welcome. We're talking about goals because this week I'm going to be helping you guys out every single day with a different feature of the planner. So our product of the week this week is the planner. So you can find these on the website, proplanner.co.uk, and they're also on Amazon. And I'm going to talk you through each step of the features inside and how you can basically be using this to the best of your abilities. Good morning, Lou. But today we're talking about goals, and this is like the first part of your planner. The first page for you to fill out is actually about your why, but I believe that this kind of like joins right in. Hey Sarah, hey Soph, good morning. Joins right in with your goal board. So we're going to go right into it. This is how much space you get in your planner for goals. It's a lot of space because it's really important. But every time I put a survey out to you guys, Pro Planner fans, it's always something that comes up every single time that everybody struggles with goal setting. And I have given it like a lot of thought because it took me a long time to sort of get my head around thinking about goals, setting goals. What are the right goals? Really, do I give a crap about these goals? Or am I just setting them because I saw it on someone else's goal board and that looked pretty cool? So I really struggled. I was a police officer. Prior to being a police officer, I worked in call centres on a minimum wage. Took me 60 interviews to get my first job. There was no point, I thought, in me setting goals when I was in the police because I was only going to earn 1,600 quid a month. So what was the point in setting a goal when I had no way of earning any more than that? So I can set a goal to go to Barbados, but I was never going to be able to afford it. And of course, that's like the wrong way to think about goal setting. But I totally get it. If that's where you're at, I get you because that's exactly where I was at. Today, I'm going to throw a few thoughts over to you and you can say exactly the way you thought about it too. So I'm going to throw a few thoughts your way and see how you respond to them and see if this is kind of like where you are too, and maybe what's blocking you going forward or getting any better at goal setting. Oh, exactly how you think. Yeah, see? It's not just you. I luckily got my riser. I think we've got a few of these left, by the way, on the website. Not many, but I love my Rise Up mug. I'm obsessed. I'm all about the positivity, you see, at the minute, especially with dealing with grief. Those of you that knew, I lost my sister in January, and then I became a mum for the second time 64 days later. So it's been quite a busy start to the year in terms of emotions and everything. So goal setting is something that I've actually struggled myself with this year, because I think sometimes when your vision looking forward, and we'll talk about this, your vision looking forward with something different to what the reality then gives you, it can really mess you up, really mess you up. You know what it's like? Have you ever been dumped by someone you were like, oh yeah, this is it. This is the one. Probably how the rest of you look back and you think, I was so stupid. But you think, oh yeah, this is, and then when it ends, you're like, I just can't see a way forward. That's why like it's hard to get over sometimes, because you're like, well, I only envisioned this. This was it. So yeah, that's when you've got teenagers and they've got heartbreak. Oh, I don't want to even think about that coming. Okay, so let's talk about the first point of goal setting. The first one is the reason why you may not be happy right now with where you are. That's hard to admit sometimes, isn't it? Like, no, I'm just not happy. Is because of a story that you tell yourself. Now, this is probably like an hour webinar to go into this, and then another hour at least to rewrite your story. But I just want to give you some understanding of where, if you don't feel right now in, you know, the happiest place, in a line with everything, like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. I'm super happy. I love what I'm doing. I'm so pumped and motivated and focused. If you're not there, then it might be because of your story and the story that you tell yourself, or that you don't even realize that you're telling yourself. Let me give you an example. So let's say you are somebody who is pushing massively to increase your income. Okay, you've got a business, you're busy, and you are working like mad. Now, when you have a focus on any one area of your life, whether it's business, so if you're focused on business, your body probably suffers. That is me. When I was focused on my business, I prioritized business, working over going to the gym, taking care of myself, eating healthy, and all that stuff. Okay. So I know that's true. So if you're focused on your fitness, then probably your business isn't going absolutely crazy. So whatever area you're focusing on, wherever you're focusing is the area that will probably grow. So if your focus is in the wrong area to what makes you happy, you're not going to be too happy. Okay. And that sounds random, but let me tell you. So if your general story that you've been telling yourself for years and years, like mine was like my mum's. So my mum was a stay-at-home mum. She did actually the accounts for my dad's business, but she was always there with us kids absolutely constantly. And she would clean all the time. Like the house was always immaculate. She probably wouldn't say that, but it was. And that's my thoughts of when I was a child was mum was always cleaning and hoovering. She would always make us like great meals. And my dad, to me, my memories would look really happy because he was chuffed that we were getting nice meals. And my dad was working really, really hard and giving us a great life. And mum was mum, and we all felt so loved and so secure, and everything was great. Okay. So you can imagine my story to myself when I grew up, because I was a woman, I wanted to be a great mum. What is my image of a great mum? It's my mum, there 24/7, meals on the table, always hoovering, I don't know why it's hoovering, always cleaning, house is immaculate. Even when like we would all sit down for a family meal, mum would get up first and start clearing up. Like it was never just like relax, chilled out, have a laugh, whatever. That's just mum. Like she loves to clean and make sure you're all happy, and that's just her. She's amazing, but there are some points there that she's definitely trying to work on. But that was my story that I told myself for a long time. That for me to be succeeding in life, I wanted to be that mum. I wanted to have my house like that. Having the house clean and the food on the table for the rest of the family was really important to me. Also, I wanted the lifestyle we had when we were kids. So we lived in a house in the countryside. We had a swimming pool. We were really, I want to say, we were lucky that my dad worked so hard to give us that. So my idea then of success of making it was living in the countryside, having a really big garden, being a great mum. So if you think about what I was actually telling myself, I wanted to be the role of two people. I wanted to be the one bringing in the money, working like my dad worked, to be able to give us that kind of life whilst being the mum that my mum was. Do you know, eventually I ran myself into the ground because I was that mum. I didn't miss a moment with William. I'm an amazing mum. I don't have any hang-ups about mum guilt. Like you'll see that when you watch my lives. I have nothing. Like I'm doing my best. My best is good enough. I'm happy with that. So I don't have hang-ups in that respect. But what I will say is that weirdly, when I was, and on average, because I got an annual bonus, I was earning over £100,000 a month. I was at my most unhappiest. And I had a really serious bout of depression, which knocked me for 6. And I could not understand why the hell I would be depressed. Like, what right did I have to feel that way? And I couldn't understand for the life of me why I did, until I learned about this, until I learned about your story. So, for example, if I wasn't being the mum I wanted to be, I wouldn't be happy, which is my mum's story of what a great mum was. If I wasn't bringing in the money to give us that lifestyle, I wasn't working hard enough in my eyes for that, that wasn't going to make you happy either, was it? What I realized was the story that I had been telling myself was ridiculous. It was two people. I can't physically be two people. There's only so much you can do, because what will happen then is I will just run myself in the ground and be unhappy. Okay, this is giving you an example of me because I wanted to explain to you how the story that I had been telling myself based on how I had grown up and what I had seen and what I considered like a great mum to be. Then I started breaking that story down, and I thought, do I think a good mum is someone that always has the house hoovered? Like, no, not really. Do I think a great mum is someone who's like, rushing around like a blue arse fly trying to do absolutely everything for everyone? No, not really. I admired some of my other friends' mums who like really took care of themselves. So did my mum, by the way, but my mum always prioritized us kids. And I actually love that. So that's fine. But I couldn't do the extent of earning that whilst being that kind of mum that I want to be and do all the other stuff as well. So I needed to find a different story. So I broke down basically, what do I think a great mum is? What kind of mum do I want to be? What about business? How much, like, do I want to bring in? What do I want to do? So the first thing in goal setting, and you can probably understand, this is like a real process to take yourselves through personally of working out your story. And you'll totally realize if you're not happy where you are right now, it's because you're living on a different story to what you really need to be. No, it's not. I was a police officer, Kim. I was a police officer in Manchester, in Greater Manchester Police. So, and she's going to go, what? And yeah, I went to work with this kind of makeup on, these nails, and false eyelashes as well, glued on every day. And I did used to lock people up saying, like, you're under arrest, babes. I'm ever so sorry, love. And then read them the caution. I was really popular with the guys who got locked up all the time, and girls got locked up all the time. So I'd be like, oh, I'm ever so sorry, babes. Do you want a fag? So it took a lot of change. And I tell you, Kim, you make a good point, actually, of what your background is, because everything in the police is negative. Even if you're a really positive person, everything is negative. Why? Because no one rings the police and says, hey, we were just ringing to say, like, we've had an amazing day today and it's Sam's christening if you'd like to pop in on your duties. No one says that. But always like, hey, my husband's just stabbed me. Hey, I've just been beaten up. Hey, someone's trying to kill me. Hey, I've been shot. That was the kind of stuff we were coming up to every single day. So most police officers, and if there is a police officer watching, they will have my back of this. They won't be like, no, absolutely not. We're all negative as hell. All we do is moan. All we did is moan. Oh, Helen, we just moan, don't we? It's true. But you can't help it. You're surrounded by negativity all of the time. And there were some people in the police who I was so like inspired by, because they were so happy all the time. I was quite upbeat, but it does get you down after a while. It's hard. First thing with goals is the story. Okay. Second thing is visualizing. Do you know, I think in the 80s and 90s, they did a test, and it was basically based on muscle, like your muscles activating with the Olympic squad. And what they did is they fitted them up to these like amazing machines. If you watch The Secret, they explain it on there. Fitted them up to the most amazing machines that basically showed that if they just thought about the race that they were going to run, the same muscles activated in the same sequence as when you were actually running the race. When we talk about visualizing, which is my second step of goal setting, so many people can't do it. Really, really, really struggle with it. But I believe it's because you don't do the first step of changing the story. Because if you don't change the story, you can't imagine ever getting to maybe where somewhere in your mind you dream of getting to in life or whatever. So visualizing is super important because your mind doesn't know the difference. Your mind doesn't know whether you're actually running the race or you're just thinking about running the race. That's something that you mustn't forget. You mustn't forget that in your daily life, because like what you're thinking about, you do bring about. I've done it so many times. I tell you, I'll give you an example, which is why I knew when I watched The Secret, yeah, there's something in this. I used to write off every car that I owned. Yeah, honestly. I'm actually quite a good driver as well. I don't know why. But everyone says that I was a bad driver, right? But I couldn't understand why. And actually one day, this is no joke, one day I said to my mum, I haven't crashed my car in ages. I'm going to have 2 years no claims soon. And she was like, oh, you've said it. Next day, wrote my car off. Not joking. Absolute. So what you're thinking about, what you're visualizing, you can bring about. So be careful with your thoughts. Visualizing is super important with goals, because if you've set a goal that you cannot see yourself achieving, no point in setting the goal. If you've set a goal that you don't know what it's going to feel like when you get there, no point in setting the goal. If you've set a goal of anything that you cannot physically see yourself in your mind achieving, you can feel the feelings, you can see yourself there, you can imagine it happening, and all of those things, waste of time setting that goal. It has to be that you backtrack, you look at your story, you rewrite the story, then you visualize. Things will get a lot different. Another thing I want to say about goals, so the third step in the goal setting process is actually setting the goals, figuring out what you want from visualizing. Hi, everyone. Visualizing what you want. But I had the most amazing counseling session yesterday. I'm working with a guy called Graham Lazell. He is wonderful. Like, he feels like an angel to me right now. I started working with him because of my sister passing away in January, and a lovely lady called Chloe, who runs the Big Moose Coffee Company. If you don't know it, go and follow it. They've got an amazing mission, and I'm cheering them on. But she saved me at a point. In fact, all of my family are seeing Graham. But he said something yesterday, and I actually wrote notes because it massively impacted me. He said, we're always rushing to the finish line, Emma. And you're always rushing to the finish line. And I thought, that's absolutely true. I set a goal and I want to get there as quick as possible. And he said, what if, and I loved this, and if you can take from this and help somebody else out with this, I really think it would make a big difference. What if life was like music, Em? Me, my sister, and my brother all loved music. So what if life was like music? And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, if the life that you live in, where everybody's rushing to the end goal, you want to get there as soon as possible. So something I always thought was, if I had 2 million, then I'll be all right for life. So, it'll be fine. But you earn that money, you get there, everything looks completely different to what you thought it would. And actually, along the way, you sort of increase your the things you want to do. It's not like you don't spend any money as you get into your goals. So you kind of increase your lifestyle, things change, you change the goalposts of your goals, then you might want a little bit more or whatever, or, different things, you lose your sister, you have another baby, things change. And then all of a sudden, you don't feel happy like when you thought, if I hit that goal, I'll be, and I always say, like, I'll be happy when. Don't live in the I'll be happy when state. Be happy now in the process. So this is what Graham was saying about, what if life was like music? Instead of, so with rushing to the end point, music would sound really bad, right? It would just be boom. That'd be it. It'd be one note, wouldn't it? If the idea of music was the same as life, we'd just be rushing to that end point. Well, that's not going to make anyone happy, and that's not enjoyable for anybody. So instead of just focusing on the finish line, what about focusing on what you enjoy doing now, what makes your heart sing? A song has a melody, it has a chorus, it has ups and downs and loops, and that's life. Life shouldn't be just rushing to a finish line and all of a sudden to sort of peer up like a meerkat and be like, shit, this doesn't feel as great as what I thought it would. Rush to the next goal. Oh, yeah, still I don't feel happy. Let's rush to something else. And instead of chasing that, how about looking at life right now as like it's like a song? And I said, that is something that I worry about because I want to do so much in life. I feel like I need 10 lifetimes to fulfill everything that I actually want to do. But I get so caught up in what I want to do and maybe planning it out or whatever that I don't actually do anything. So that's been one of my things of like, well, I want so much. What do I do first? So this is why I talk about setting goals, but only goals that you can visualize. Of course, when you sort your story out, then you learn how to visualize, then you set the goals. Things will be very different to where you are right now, and I totally understand that. So instead of rushing to the finish line, how about thinking about goals that you're going to be happy with doing along the way and having fun and not putting too much pressure on yourself or racing to that finish line, but actually enjoying the dance. Life should be more like a dance where we're happy and we're having fun and we're doing the goals anyway, but being happy in the process. And then number 4 is that's 3. 4 is breaking the goal down. So many people will have a goal but have no idea how to get to it. They don't know how to break it down. They don't know how to plan for it. And there is a way of doing that. There is a way of looking at your goal, breaking it down into, maybe if it's over 12 months, then a quarterly goal, and then a weekly goal and a daily goal. And they're normally activity goals that you have to do certain things in order to get the different results. But you're going to need a foundation to run on to plan those results. So that's something that I'm going to do, I believe, a goal setting masterclass maybe next month. And in that, I'm going to take you through some steps of goal setting that maybe will help you, because I do think it kind of is the key to, if you get that right, other things tend to fall into place. And then we're going to talk about goal boards, because when we talk about visualizing, if you can use other aids, so I set goals to music and I have a goal board, those things, I can look at my goal board, takes me straight into the state of having achieved it already. And also, if I listen to the piece of music that I set the goal to, I don't need to be looking at a picture or anything else, or listening to somebody recite my goals or whatever. I can just listen to a piece of music, read through my goals in my planner, my 3-month, my 6-month, my 12-month goals, and then look at my goal plan. And that takes me straight into the state of already having achieved it, which is powerful. Don't underestimate the power of getting into the state where you've already achieved something. You can visualize it. It is amazing. That's cool. Guys, just to let you know as well, there is a link at the top that says something like okay it for StreamYard, because I can see, let me show you, it says Facebook user. And if I know your names, that's amazing, because I feel like then I'm on like a bit of a one-on-one. Okay, so here we go. Goal is to take the kids to Disney, but you struggle to visualize it. That is not uncommon. That's actually more common. Most people can't visualize it. But as I said, it's because of the story at the beginning. It's the story that you're telling yourself that probably isn't your story. It's been there from other things that maybe you've seen or witnessed in your childhood, or you believe is what you should want or not want or whatever. It's like people are embarrassed to say, like, I want to earn £1,000 a month and I'll be really happy with that. They think, I need to earn £10,000 a month. And I'm not saying that's not great, or £100,000 a month, or whatever it is that you want, but you've got to sort of know what makes you happy. And it's never going to be the end destination, because you've got to be happy on the daily. Life has got to be like the music. But this is completely normal to not be able to visualize it. If you've never done something before, it's very hard to visualize. And I would be interested, like, have you been to Disney? Because if you've been, it will be easier to visualize. So just wondering. Anyway, I am going to get the goal setting masterclass set up, and I will be doing some things which I think will be really useful. I had no idea so many people struggle with goal setting, so it's going to be my pleasure to help you guys. No, you've never been. I knew it. See, it's hard to visualize something that you've never done before. So you're perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with you, and there's no reason why you can't achieve it. Obviously, it's finding out why maybe if you've set that goal before and you haven't achieved it, or maybe you're just not doing the goal setting process right. So that is something we can definitely look at. Just keep an eye on the lives, because I will be announcing some masterclasses coming up and things like that, which will definitely help. And Lou says, find it tough to set goals. You always work hard, grateful for what and who you have in your life. I don't want to look ungrateful, but I do know I need to have change. You know what? You're doing something right, because the first step in change is being grateful for what you already have. You don't have to do that, Lou, because you're already saying, I'm really grateful for everything and everyone that I have in my life. Most people who are maybe not where they want to be, or they're not going in the direction that they want, are angry or frustrated, or think everything's rubbish, all I attract is debt, or this is just getting worse, no one's helping me out, this is bad. You're not in that state of mind, so you've actually passed like the first couple of stages on the process to changing things anyway, because you've already identified that, you know what, I find it hard to set goals, I'm working hard, but I'm really grateful for what I have and who I have already. I just have to change. That's great. I think you're in the right place to make a change with goal setting. Okay. Oh, I'm glad too, Sarah. Hit a bit of a brick wall. That's the thing. So many people do. And there'll be loads of people on this live that are like, I'm exactly the same. I've hit a wall. I don't know what I want, where I want, what I want to do, what makes me happy. I don't even know who I am anymore. What's my name? I get it. It all starts, in my opinion, with goal setting, because it's like you almost strip yourself back and you sit there and you think, what makes me bloody happy? What do I want to do? And Graham explained it in like a really great way, because then I was like, do you know, I'm going to go and book the cruise that I wanted to take William on. If anyone sees William, please don't tell him. I'm going to surprise him. I'm rubbish with surprises though, so I really hope I can keep this one. Anyway, so I said, I'm going to go and book it. And he said, remember, Emma, with music, you need an orchestra. And I'm like, yeah. And he said, and in an orchestra, you've got a drum player, you've got a flute player, you've got a cello player, you've got whatever player, guitar player. So I don't think you have a guitar player in an orchestra, do you? Anyway, point being, if having fun is the drum, then if all you're doing is having fun, you're just a drum player. You're not part of the orchestra and making the music. So you've got to be balanced. Like if you're going to play the drum, also do a little bit of the flute and go and play a little bit of the violin and also on the cello. And you've got to, and I always think that you've got to keep the plate spinning, right? So if you want to have more fun, great, have more fun, but you can't stop everything else just to have more fun. So you've got to keep it really balanced, but in a place where you are having fun. So that's my challenge, by the way. I mean, I've been really honest with you guys today. I am great at goal setting. I know what to do. When you have had grief in your life or something really tough has happened to you, it can kind of shake you and knock you and think, oh my gosh, like what's the direction I'm going in moving forwards? Which is why that I'm glad we're doing the Pro Planner as the product of the week and going through all the features, which I think are going to really help you guys out. I think that's it for today. And that's a bit of a heavy one, isn't it? You all go away thinking like, what do I want? But tomorrow, what feature is it tomorrow? Let's have a look. Because when you do get to the goals that you want and you put them in here, what's amazing is that you can just open this. I stick pictures on this side, make it really visual. And then I've got the 1 month, the 6 month and the 12-month goals here, which is just keeping me on track, reminding me. But remember, I am not rushing to the finish line. I'm not. I'm making music. Well, my friend's going to be like, she's turned into a hippie. Don't worry. I won't be smoking drugs or anything like that. No. I'm just trying to figure out the fun aspect and keep life more like music, so it's not so serious and rush into the next phase, because when you get there, you realise, actually, yeah, this doesn't do it either. It's learning to enjoy the process. And I want you guys to be able to do that too. So tomorrow we will look at monthly plan, like how to plan things out. Do let me know in the comments. I will take a look at them. Do let me know of what kind of things you'll be planning out. So I know we have a network marketing edition. We've also got like our general edition. So let me know what kind of things might be helpful for me to go through in your monthly plan. I know that lots of people use this as like a social media kind of planner. It's your month purview, and then we will go into prospect tracker for network marketing. I'll do a separate one on that, and then we've got our weekly plan to go through. So we've got quite a lot to get through this week. University with M's day one. Keep your eyes peeled as well for probably towards the end of the week. I'll announce like Masterclass and when it's going to be. And I will see you tomorrow if you are free and able to join me. So you're more than welcome. Yes. Oh, I'm glad it's hit a chord with everybody. We can all do it together. Take care, everyone. Speak soon. Bye.